Welcome back. This will be the second video in the cabinet build series. In this one, I'll break down all the plywood for the base cabinets. I'll start to assemble the base cabinets, and I'll share a tip or a philosophy that I hold when it comes to driving pocket screws. Now it's time to start breaking down this plywood. I've got all my labels laid out. I'm going to grab a sheet of this 18mm single side stuff. They call it 3/4 inch import, UV1, at the lumberyard. The first cut is 61 inches. Which will leave a 35-inch drop. Now I'll cut another 35. I'll set this aside and recut this 35 to 34.5, which is my final base cabinet height. Set that one aside and recut this one to its final 34.5-inch measurement. And take the factory edge off at the same time. And that gives me the base sides for 2 cabinets. Knock off the fuzzies. Label, label, label. Same thing on this one. Go ahead and cut a 61. I need 2 more sides because there are 3 base cabinets on that wall. Knock off the fuzzies. Throw some more labels. Here I'm going to start cutting the toe kicks. I first mark it with the router jig and then I rough cut it with the jigsaw. I try to get as close to the line as I can. Within about 1/8 of an inch is good. It's also very important to lay out the left and right side before you start all this cutting. And then I take the router plate and flush trim it with the palm router. And it is hooked up to the vacuum cleaner, but most of the dust is going on the floor. And these are the bottoms for those 3 cabinets. Now I'm marking out for pocket holes. When I get done doing the face frames, I like to back the depth off a little bit. You can see it right there. It's 3/4 import. Label, label, label. I'm running 4 pocket screws on the face on all these sides. Hold up, Handy. On these first 2 cabinets, I go kind of quickly. I slow down here in a minute and give a little bit more instructional. But I want to kind of just blaze through these first 2 because it took me a minute to get my act together. So there's the first one. And here is the second one. I do have a method and I try to do it exactly the same every time. So the method here is to grab the first side and put it into Handy, which is going to be the left side. And then I'll take the bottom and I'll put the corner clamp, the pocket hole clamp on there. And then I'll put the spacer block with a clamp. And then I'll go to the other side and put a backstop with a clamp. And then screw it off and align it the whole time. Now that I've got this left side done, I don't need Handy anymore, so I'll put him aside and start to put the right side together. So it's corner clamp, spacer block, backstop. Forgot to put that clamp on there. And then screw it together while adjusting everything, finessing it. On these toe kicks, they're short, so there's a hole there that allows me access for putting the pocket screw in because I take the face frames off to do the finish work. So it's a little weird. That's one of the things that I do that's a little different. This is what I was talking about earlier with the loose sheets. I'm still using the loose sheets constantly all the way around the assembly table. So that's the first 3 base cabinets, and now I'm going to take 5 base sides out of this sheet. I'll need 6 in total, but one of them I'm going to make it out of the double-sided stuff. I always get chip out when I do my crosscuts, so I like to tape both sides when I do crosscuts on this pre-finished double-sided stuff. If you know of a better way, I'd love to hear about it. It takes a little bit of time, but I always get a nice crispy cut.
Extra crispy.
Here I'm just picking out the left and right sides. And now I can mark the toe kicks. Rough cut with a jigsaw. And then trim with the router. If I don't label it, I'll lose it. That's going to take care of that sheet, and now I got to get these 3 bottoms out of this next sheet. I'll cut these bottoms a little long, that way I can recut them to their actual length once I physically lay out everything on the face frames, which is what I'm doing right here. This will give me the exact number for the bottoms. Knock off the fuzzies. And start marking out for the pocket holes. There'll be 4 on the sides and the front on the bottoms. And 4 on the face on all of the sides. There's Handy again. Hold up, Handy. Handy's awesome. One concept that I wanted to share with you is the concept of drift when it comes to pocket screws. A lot of people don't like pocket screws because when they screw them in, they say, it moved. But if you just calculate that it's going to move, then it's drifting, just like when you drift in a car. So you just accept that it's going to move. Anticipate the movement. I can anticipate the movement within a couple of taps of the hammer. I've got the spacer block hanging off, just a fuzz, and then when I screw it together, it's perfect. This is how the toe kicks end up. And when the face frame goes on, the top is flush and the bottom is just hanging over a fuzz. 30-second maybe. I basically screw the face frames on there completely. Then I'll make a line and then take them back off. It's a weird thing I do. A lot more about this finish is coming up later. And I think that was the one we were looking for.